Hey, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Romantasy Roundtable, a tale of Rick and Roses. This is Rick, and I'm joined with my roses.
Amanda.
And Kim.
Look, it's been a minute. It took me a while. We're going. We're good. It's vacation still. We just came back from vacation.
That's true.
Right?
You just came back from vacation like an hour ago.
I did. Yeah, it's true. Like an hour and a half ago, possibly. How you guys doing?
Doing okay. I don't feel like I have anything to report.
All right. I mean, you are going to all these great soccer games.
Oh my God.
So that's amazing.
Guys, the New York City Football Club has conspired against me. We were taking a bunch of people to the game this weekend for Tristan's birthday, and we started hearing rumors that they were going to cancel the game. And we were like, that's weird. Why would they do that? And then we were like, oh, it must be because our opponent is going to advance in the Leagues Cup. And I know that it will take me 3 minutes to explain the Leagues Cup, so I'm not going to do that here.
Thank you.
But if you want to hear the voice note, I can send it to you. But it turns out that's not why. It's because the grass at Citi Field is bad. And,
Just like the team.
And
I'm
they
a
have to,
Mets fan.
Woof. Coming in hard, Rick.
They have to fix the grass.
And the
which
team.
Means only baseball can be played there after that. And the Yankees are, of course, at home. And the Red Cows of New Jersey are not here, but beloved Gotham FC is playing there. So there's nowhere else for us to go. So they took this Saturday game at Citi Field in August and rescheduled it to a Wednesday in September at Yankee Stadium.
How convenient. We love that.
Great. And even all the emails from them were like, we appreciate your patience while we navigate the last stretch of time until our stadium opens in 2027. So I've had 48 hours to plan a birthday party.
Easy for someone like you.
It's going to be great. And also only baseball can be played there right now because they don't have to be athletic. Just gonna say.
I mean, to be fair, we're barely playing baseball there as it stands. So
I think it's because the outfield gets way less like people on it.
Obviously, like they move like, and I'm a huge baseball fan. They barely move out there. Like, come on,
right? Versus like the outfield is the soccer pitch. Like, I don't know. Maybe soccer was never meant to be played in a baseball stadium. I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
But this is actually probably more interesting to the listeners of our podcast. So I invented, along with my friend ChatGPT, collaboratively, we invented a game to play. So there are rules that everyone has to follow, drinking game rules that everyone has to follow. And if you forget a rule or you break a rule, you have to take a drink. And then in addition, there are like shared missions. And there are secret missions. So there are
nice.
shared missions that like everybody can do for a bonus. And then each person gets their own secret mission. And so I'm not going to tell you what the secret missions are because Kim's going to get a secret mission. And if I guess Kim's secret mission correctly, she has to buy me a drink.
Nice.
But if I'm incorrect, I have to take a drink.
I love that.
This is great. This is like the updated millennial version of King's Cup.
That's exactly that's what Tristan said. He was like, you asked ChatGPT to reinvent King's Cup. And I was like, well, I asked ChatGPT to make bingo. And then as ChatGPT started making bingo, I was like, now hear me out. Secret missions.
I'm glad to bypass the disgusting end drink that is King's Cup and instead just be like, hey, let's buy each other drinks. That's
better. And anything that's like, take a drink can also be like eat a French fry,
Heard.
Have you been, Kimberly?
I have been great. I have been hanging out with my bud Bartholomew, not the Bartholomew that we are going to be talking about today, but updated namesake. And he is like, we are truly becoming best buds, y'all.
That's amazing. I love that.
Adorable. He wants his belly to be rubbed. He is more talkative than I am. Set as the introvert. He is the extrovert of the family so far. So it has been super lovely. And you'll probably hear him at some point because it's getting to be his witching hour where he's going to be like, Mom, feed me. Mom, feed me Seymour. So
I love him. I love him so much.
That is that plant movie.
Or Broadway show, but
It's
yes.
It's a musical, and it's currently playing off Broadway. You could go see it.
Yeah, it's had one of the longest runs, actually.
It's very good.
It's very good. It's my dad's favorite. I'm going to do what Rick didn't do. And that, if you like what you're hearing, you should go and smash all those buttons to follow us on YouTube or wherever you might listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple Pod, whatever. Also, follow us on Book Talk and Bookstagram. Things are happening there. Rick loves to yap.
I do.
All of the book talkers love to listen to him yap, so come and join us. And shout out for my new baby. You can also come and follow Bartholomew content at the Baby Bartholomew on Instagram. Thank you. Bye.
We love him.
Speaking of Bartholomew, we have one lovely gargoyle to talk about. So we have a really interesting next couple episodes. So we're going to be doing The Night and the Moth, and I've spoken about it before on this podcast, but surprise, this is like my favorite book of the year. So I am really excited to be doing this, but we've all read it already. It's like we're not actually actively reading it. We are going based on vibes and AI notes.
Can we talk?
Go ahead.
Can we talk a little bit about how, because you guys both like independently found this book and started reading it at the same time, and then you bullied me into reading it.
Yeah, so I found it on Reddit. It came out in, I think, May, and I'm on fantasy romance. I'm on Romantasy, and it was the new hotness. People seem to love it, and if anyone knows anything about me, I'm all about the new hotness. So I had to read it, and as you'll hear me say in the first when we start going over this, it was like a snowball for me. Like I was very confused in the beginning. And it literally snowballed. It was like getting a little bit better. And I became obsessed with it. Like I read the whole damn thing in June over a couple of days while I was at Great Wolf Lodge. And I think, Kim, you read it because I had mentioned that it was like good. And we didn't realize we were reading it for a couple of days or whatever. And we both collectively loved it. I loved it more. And I don't think I've ever really said like, oh, you need to read a book. So that says something.
Yeah, and I would say that, as has happened in life, but I think particularly over the last 6 months as we've been potting, we've all been sort of throwing out book recs or like possibilities for things that we could read over time. And this was one that Rick had mentioned a couple months ago. And so I thought I was picking up something that was unique that we hadn't read until, our group chat exploded and Rick was like, I'm reading this. And I was like, God damn you.
What happened is he just started calling everyone Bartholomew. And I was like, what the damn hell is going on? And then Kim was like, no, you're reading The Night and the Moth. And Rick was like, you don't know what The Night and the Moth is. And I was like, I really don't know what The Night and the Moth is. But then after they both read it, they bullied me into reading it. So I read it over 4 days in July.
And I will add one more thing before we get started. So Amanda and I had a really amazing time going to the Ripped Bodice on Sunday for their 2nd anniversary celebration. And one of the fun things about standing in line before we were able to actually get into the store, they were doing really amazing crowd control, was judging people as they were coming out with the books that they had bought. And so like right before we went in, one of the people who came out had The Night and the Moth in her hand. And both of us were like, yes. Like we
made friends with the bookseller about it. We were like, we're judging people's books and we really like that one. And she's like, oh, me too.
I love that.
It was great.
It was like forever shout out to the Ripped Bodice. It was such a lovely experience. They had like goodie bags for the first 100 people in line, and Kim and I were like 110th in line. And they still gave us each 2 free books, and they gave Kim a really cute free print.
Oh, nice. I love that.
It's a puppy upside down on a beach. It's like, that's exactly what we're going for here. They knew it was me.
We got different books. Like Kim got two books that I would say are like, I think Kim won. My books are like a little more tame. But Kim got a book about like a throuple.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what the videos, we attempted to record videos about
there's a lot of background noise in them, so I haven't edited them yet, but I'll try to throw them together.
We were at brunch at the time, and it was super quiet when we first got there, and then it was not quiet the second we started trying to record videos. But my video about this book took 2 takes, because I was reading the back of it the first time I was trying to present it, and I was like, oh, it's this like cutesy romance about this guy who goes to Amsterdam and falls in love with a ballerina. And then I actually read the back and was like, oh shit, Amanda, I missed everything about this. I was like, he goes to Amsterdam and meets a man who is a friend of his father's and learns a whole lot about himself, and then runs away, and then meets a ballerina. and then they all come together.
That the 3 of them have great chemistry.
Correct.
So in that video, I will upload it. In that video, I'm like shaking with laughter because Kim did not give me a heads up. She was like, oh, I just need to re-record it. And I was like, okay, crazy. Like, it's about a ballerina. What's the big deal? And then she just, it was nuts.
The ballerina is not delicate as the back of the.
Correct. Mine is like, she's a snowboarder and he's a competitive skier. It's cute.
Speaking about gargoyles. We read the night.
You should have been there, Rick. You should have been there.
We read
The Night in the Moth. So we start out in chapter 1. The narrator. Well, there's a prologue. Isn't the prologue before chapter 1?
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, both ChatGPT and Gemini were really struggling to read this. Like ChatGPT was like, I can't read this at all. I was like, oh, you're an idiot. Gemini could. Anywho, so yeah, there's a prologue, and that's where it really threw me. Got a little really confusing. Basically, there's a whole lot of Bartholomew's going on there. Like Bartholomew this, and he tells a little story, and you really have no idea what the hell is going on. That's really all I'm going to say about the prologue.
Yeah, like there's no. It's just one character narrating a vague story.
But you don't even realize, like you don't know who he's talking to. Like,
you don't know who it is. You're like, who? And this character who, like, spoilers for 5 seconds later, this character is a gargoyle who calls everyone Bartholomew. But you don't know when you're reading.
Right. It's like a vertical slice of something that happens 80% into the book. So you're just really clueless.
Yeah.
However, it's so good because, like, you know what? When we get there, go ahead.
All right. So chapter 1, the narrator is one of 6 diviners living at Aisling Cathedral.
I was pronouncing it Ailing, but I don't really care.
No, there's an S.
I know.
Is it Aisling or Aisling?
Riesling.
Okay, at the Riesling Cathedral. And she's talking about her life of service. So she's like dusting pews and enduring a verbose gargoyle.
Mm-hmm.
So she and the 5 other maidens climb a high wall to watch the procession of the new boy king, Benedict Castor.
The 3rd.
As he approaches the cathedral for a divination ceremony. They play a game with straws to determine who will perform the divination, and the narrator, known as 6, because she's the 6th diviner, draws the short straw, meaning that she must dream.
And then we learn that
we don't know what any of that means.
Right. Yeah. So like that, again, these first few chapters are very confusing. Very, very confusing. I don't know if you guys felt that way, but it just kind of starts like there's no. Whoa. Socket has words. It kind of just starts, and there's no warm up. There's no like. You're kind of starting at 40 miles per hour, not 60 yet, like 40 miles per hour. Characters introduced. They're doing something. You have no idea what it means. So I was very confused at this point.
I honestly love world building that happens like this, though. I like being confused, I guess. I like sort of like not having all the answers right away, I find that really intriguing and fun. And so that was kind of the first couple chapters. Like, even we're learning about what they're wearing. And so the 6 diviners are sitting on top of the wall, and 6, who is again the narrator, is sort of talking about how they're all like covered in gauze outlets and their eyes outfits. And their eyes are fully covered, and so she's like never seen their actual faces, despite the fact that they all like live together. And yeah, it's that question of like, what the heck is happening here and why? But I like that, so I thought it was really interesting. And I also think I think it did a really good job of setting kind of time and place too. So we're at this cathedral. It's sort of immediately right off has these kind of like Gothic feels to it. There's like a king coming in like a horse procession also. And so I thought that was really effective in sort of placing you in this potentially historic time and space also.
I agree with everything Kim just said. And Socket freaked out because my robot vacuum started talking. And he's her nemesis. Chapter 2. So 6 has been chosen by the straw game, and she's led into the cathedral's spring, which is a pool of dark, oily water. And she talks a lot about how bad it smells. So
Been
she
there.
performed the divination. So she drinks King Castor's blood. And is commanded to dream, which involves drowning and entering a liminal state where she perceives the signs of the 5 omens. Each sign corresponds to a historical omen. So there's a coin, an inkwell, an oar, a chime, and a loom stone. And all of these omens indicate bad for this king. So she finishes her task, and she's left with this really uneasy feeling. Hi, Bartholomew.
Oh my God, there he is.
He heard his name.
Oh, he's doing this.
So the cat Bartholomew has come up because he heard his name and he had to meow about it.
Oh, good boy.
Meow. Sorry, his face is gross. Meow meow.
It's his hard lunch. I love him.
Here. You'll probably keep hearing him because he's awake.
I think Socket saw him on my screen because now she's staring at the screen.
Anyway, sorry for the additional roses here, the guest appearances.
All right. So yeah, that's the first time we see the dream ceremony. And it's heavy. Like she's drinking blood, the water smells, she's drowning. And I think at this point in the book, I'm like, oh, she has like like it feels like she's drowning, and it's like, oh no, she's drowning. Like she's actually drowning. And the what's her name?
The abbess. The
abbess is like performing this ritual, like tells the story of the omens and like the first king or whatever. I don't remember the story, but and she's like, and that is why we do what we do. And then she kills her. Well, she doesn't kill her, but she drowns her.
Yeah, it took me a bit to like decipher like when she drowns, is like, does she die? Like, so she doesn't die. I thought the same thing too. She just drowns until like, I guess, unconscious. It doesn't actually matter. But
yeah, I mean it's like a magical drowning.
Drowning, yeah.
So like she dies but doesn't die. Like she enters this like liminal state. So when she wakes up in chapter 3, she vomits, which apparently is a very common side effect. And then,
drowning, yeah.
And then, so as she's leaving, she sees the king and some of his knights, and they're in the dining commons. And the king has stolen some of the spring water.
And before this, now I'm getting reminded by my memory. In the last chapter, when she was doing this and the abbess was going over the whole story, there was one knight who was like, fuck this noise, I'm out. And he left. We don't know who it was.
She actually like even mentions him when she's on the wall.
Yeah.
That he like comes by, and so we're like, all right, so that's the guy.
Right. We're like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guy on the wall, and then he's the guy who's like, fuck this, I'm out. And then he's of course the guy who is in the dining hall, and he's shirtless, right?
Yep.
Probably.
Because
he's the guy.
Yeah.
And so his name is Roderick Rory Mendacious.
You did it.
How do we
Mendacious. I'll take it. I don't know.
We're gonna make another reel about these names also.
Mendacious.
Yep.
Anyway,
Mendacious.
he does not care for her.
No.
And doesn't seem to care for the omens or the divining process or any of that.
Okay, I want to go back and talk quickly about like initial impressions of the actual like divining thing, because first and foremost, I really like to read without having actually read a summary on the back of a book, synopsis, I should say. And so I didn't actually sort of know what tropes we were getting into here. And so when you enter chapter 2 and they immediately, she's drinking blood. And so I was like, are we dealing with vampires here? And I didn't even realize it. And if this is like some like holy vampire situation. And then the like absolutely like disgusting infected like fetid water here, that they also like is described as being like overly sweet and like weirdly like fermented and gross. I just had like a lot of sensory responses to that. Baring of teeth also.
I don't know. She was just baring her teeth.
Why are we baring teeth?
You just did this.
Oh, I smiled at Tristan because he came home from his run.
Oh, all right.
Hi, Tristan.
Power Rangers doing Fortnite starting tonight, so we're getting on. We're squadding up, bro.
You got to get the pink Power Ranger, Kim. It's me.
He says not Fortnite.
Bro, the Power Rangers.
Do you want your own mic so you can talk even though you're not on screen?
Tristan's takes. Let's do it.
Tristan's takes. What are your thoughts on Fortnite?
What are my thoughts on Fortnite? I don't know. It gives me the same feeling as Snapchat. I'm way too old.
Look, we got Power Rangers launching tonight, Battle Pass, right? I think the White Ranger is a level 100 skin, right? You got the Green Ranger, he's somewhere in the middle. The Megazord, that's like one of the mid-season skins. We're hype. We're all in.
Wow.
What's that other game that's out in early access?
Battlefield 6.
Oh, Battlefield 6. Yeah, I'm gonna get that anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna play the beta.
Rick, have you launched your thoughts about the different servers based off of different ages to Tristan yet for Fortnite?
Oh, Tristan, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You know how like people have like 40 and older leagues, right? For sports and stuff. I want a 40 and older lobby for video games. That's what I want.
That is, I was actually having this thought on my run today that I want like on Call of Duty to be like a server called the Kiddie Pool, where it's just like, it's the lazy river equivalent of Call of Duty. If your KD gets too high, you just get bumped out.
That's why. So we started playing Call of Duty Warzone because they have a casual Warzone mode, and we squat up hard.
Oh.
Do you need to squat up in Call of Duty casual Warzone? Did I do that right?
Yeah, you did it.
I could, but then I would give up my whole like whole hard drive to just Call of Duty.
It's fine. Casual. It's a lot of bots. You feel good about yourself, all right?
Okay.
I feel like I'm actually doing something and good at that game.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And chapter 3.
These have been Tristan's takes. Tristan, what do you think about the divining process, though, and the smelly spring water?
I don't know, the divining process. I sense the kind of books that you guys are reading, there's probably somebody referring to a divining rod.
I see what he did there.
This is truly the least soupiest book.
There's barely soup in this book.
Yeah.
That divining rod's gonna find a spring.
Next book. Appreciate that.
This has been Tristan's takes.
All right, where are we at? Chapter 3. Three.
Sorry,
I don't. 3 and 5.
I had trouble with my hands. Yeah, chapter 3. We talked about this. So they're meeting In the dining hall, he's got spring water. It seems to be not kosher that he took the spring water. But they're also like the king and his knights are like palling around.
They're broing it up.
They're broing it up. And Six is like,
You can't do that.
yeah, she's not really here for it.
You have to go to clubs.
Clubs are dead. R.I.P. clubs. All right, chapter 4. Six decides she wants to leave the cathedral grounds to experience life outside the walls as her 10-year service is nearly complete. So this is where we find out that the diviners they're taken as children. They're orphan children, and they are taken and made into diviners. They drown for the first time, and that's how they become diviners. And then they serve a 10-year service, and then that's it.
There, look up. There be peace be with you, diviner.
Yeah, which sure. What were your
Initial thoughts on this?
Yeah.
I was like, that seems a little too easy. I don't know. I mean, I was still a bit confused at this point, but I was unsure.
I was like, this is some giver shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, these bitches are gonna die.
You know who else went through this? Our girl Poppy.
What?
No.
Poppy. They were taking the babies.
Who?
Remember? Poppy.
Poppy. And
Our
they were
favorite
killing
hero.
the babies.
No, I've read like 52 books since then, so I don't remember Poppy.
I'll never forget Poppy.
I actually, Amanda, thank you for that though. I literally thought the giver also.
Yeah, right? I was like
the taking of the kids. Yep. I was like,
they're done. But okay, so she's nearing the end of her 10-year sentence. She's like, I gotta live my life. So she wants to sneak out of the grounds and experience life. So she confronts Rory. And she's like, you and your knights have to escort me and my 5 girls. In exchange, I will not say anything about the fact that you stole the spring water. And he's like, no. And also your job is nonsense and omens are stupid and you drown for other people. And that's terrible. But then he writes her a note that he agrees.
Yeah.
He is grumpy. I'm not sure she's Sunshine. She might also be grumpy. It might be a grumpy meets grumpy romance.
Maybe. I mean, I'm getting frat bro and like frat girl vibes here. You know, he's like broing up with his pals.
What's a frat girl?
I don't know. She's like with her girls, the diviners, you know, and she's like, take us to the party. You have to. We want to go to the fair.
Okay,
and you're a boy, so you have to.
I'm feeling of it as, okay, if we want to go the frat boy route, then it's her like coming of age story. Again,
yes.
She's like coming to the end of her 10-year sentence and she's like, I want to experience the real world and, you know, drink the water in not a way that kills me, but like makes me have fun.
It's Tangled.
Oh, it's Tangled.
That's cute. Like this naive little girl and she's like, take me from my tower. Oh,
handsome knight.
Scandalous, handsome rogue. And that's what he does.
Yeah. And they go out and they play ring toss.
Well, okay, but before they play flip cup, first of all, they're called Hellenic women, not frat girls. So before they go out, they smoke weed.
Yeah, they do. Oh my god, they do.
It's like
in true frat bro manners.
It's like such a why? Like I guess because like it plays an important role later, but I was like, why is this happening? So the diviners
there's a lot of weed in this book.
There's a lot.
This book
I don't even know if it's like weed or if it's like opium. Like it is like
it's called Idleweed. This book is 420 friendly.
Yeah. I'm with it.
All right. So the diviners smoke idleweed. This is chapter 5. They smoke idleweed to calm their nerves before they're outing with the knights. They put on their cloaks, which helps them obscure their identities. Because remember, they have like the shroud over their face and bodies. So they sneak out and they meet the knights. During the walk, the narrator, whose name is Six, notices small iridescent creatures called sprites in the trees, and a knight kills one. And
Mhm.
she's like, what's up with that? And he's like, the sprites are bad. We got to kill all the sprites. And she's like, but aren't the gargoyle sprites? And he's like, they're a different kind of sprite. They're old sprites, so it's fine. So weird. The narrator leaves with Hamelin, who is her assigned knight. And she's like, Hamlin.
He's a ham. That's all I got. He's a ham.
He's like Tamlin, but made of ham.
Not like a ham.
No, he is like if a pig was dressed as Tamlin.
There it is. Hamlin.
So
He is Hampon.
So she's off with Hamlin, and they start to have a private encounter in the woods.
Oh, it's this guy. Okay.
Right. And she's like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to live my life. Like, maybe I'm going to like make out with this guy. And he says that like people are never going to believe that he fucked a diviner. And she's like, yeah, that's not the kind of dirty talk I'm into. And so she ditches him and she goes to Coulson Fair alone.
Good for her. You know, that dude, that is not, no, nuh-uh. It's not how you say it, bro. You know? He was there. He had it. I'm just saying. He had it.
He fumbled in the end zone.
Oh my God. He truly did. What an idiot.
Fumbled at the 1 yard line.
Right. Oh my God. Such an idiot.
Yeah. Hamlin. Not the guy.
Fuck. Not the guy.
All right. So they get to Coulson Fair, which is a place, not a fair. What were your thoughts on Coulson Fair? What was it evoking in your mind?
Wait, is it really not a fair?
It's a place.
It's
like
it's like an actual like market town.
It's like one of the towns.
They didn't have like turkey legs on a stick?
Fair as in market.
Oh. I really loved all the places in this book. My girl, Rachel Gillig, she did what the Night Circus tried to do. In like creating the atmosphere, but she landed it. Like every single place in this book felt like its own, and it had like its own identity. And I loved the fair. It felt like very busy. It felt just like there's a lot going on there, and I really felt like they were like doing the thing. You know, she wanted to sneak out, see the world, and she did.
So each of these towns is connected to one of the omens, which are basically like, I think at this point we know they're like gods with a symbol. And so this Coulson Fair is connected to
the thief.
Yeah,
the
but
coin one, right?
Yeah, I don't have his name written anywhere, but so the thief guy, and so these are like the original like founders of Traum, the town, the land, the country that they're in. And so because Coulson Fair is a market, they're really into commerce, money guides them, and so the coin is their omen. And so she's accosted by a merchant who tries to see her face for a divination, but Rory intervenes, pretending to threaten the merchant with violence. It didn't seem very pretend at first, but then apparently it was pretend. And then later, the king, Benedict Castor, indicates the third initiates a challenge to Rory's knightly craft, where Rory must withstand 3 physical assaults without losing his footing. So 3 of the diviners attack him, 6, 1, and 4. And 6 remembers that Rory was injured the previous night, so she successfully tackles him to the ground, winning the challenge and ensuring he must get his future divined. She's not a little wisp of a thing.
No.
She's a big, broad girl. And so
and
she
smart. For the most part.
Naive but intelligent, I would
Right.
say. And curious, which is like perhaps even more important in a heroine, I think. But she does tackle him to the ground, which, like, thinking back to, like Violet couldn't have tackled Xaden in chapter 6 of Fourth Wing, because she'd be like, my bones. So all back.
And Favor couldn't do it because she'd be like, I can't read.
Favor would be like, who? And Poppy couldn't do it because
Poppy could absolutely do that. She could have done that in chapter 1.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Let's
Poppy would
not.
be like, he's too attractive. I can't hurt him.
But the challenging to his crafting comes up later, so that's pretty important. Like
yeah,
in the world, like you can challenge anyone to their craft, which is like the thing that they're good at, and if you beat them, you sort of get whatever you want.
right. And so what Six wants is for, or I guess what the king and Six want is for Rory to get his future divine, since he is like so not into the omens. And so that is the deal. So they go back to the cathedral. And then in chapter 7, since Six has won the challenge, she wakes a few hours before dawn to perform a secret divination for Rory in the cathedral. So she doesn't want to tell
The abbess.
she doesn't want to tell the abbess. So she has the bat-like gargoyle assist her. So all the gargoyles look like different animals. And this is the only gargoyle that talks, the one that calls everyone Bartholomew. He looks like a bat.
Okay, because he calls everybody Bartholomew, can we just agree right now that we can call him Bartholomew? Because we had done that kind of internally.
I was calling him Bartholomew, but we can just call him the gargoyle.
In the
Because
book, they call him the gargoyle.
Fine, we can call him the gargoyle.
I had been calling him
Having a
Bartholomew.
name, and I was also calling him because he just says Bartholomew constantly. Bartholomew, Bartholomew, Bartholomew. And so I was just like, I'm going to call him Bartholomew in my head.
That's
My
what I did
favorite
too.
is like there's this one point in the book where like he's complaining about something to Rory, and like Six walks into the room and he's like, "See, Bartholomew, how torturous this is." And Rory's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Not you, Bartholomew, that Bartholomew."
One of my favorite things that he says, and it's not going to pick it up in our AI notes, but he's like, I don't remember where it happened, so I'm just going to say it now. He's like talking to Six, and Six is like, "We have to do this before the abbess comes," and he's like, "Yeah, I hate that bitch anyway." Like that's literally what he says.
He is literally like, this book is a Disney movie.
Yeah.
It's got so much lore. It's got so much world building. It's got a quest. We've got a hero and a heroine, and we've got a
Side character.
Like a good
Comedy.
Disney sidekick.
Yeah,
Like,
he's great.
this gargoyle is, as the
Yeah.
kids would say, goated.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little dark, but it could be Disney-fied so quickly.
I mean,
they Disney-fied every like Grimm's fairy tale. So
yeah,
like,
and also like there are no living parents in any Disney. Like we all watched Mufasa die as children, and we lived to tell the tale. So, also there are like literal Nazi hyenas in that movie. So, all right. So the gargoyle is going to assist her in the drowning, which like he really doesn't want to do. But she forces him to do it anyway. And in her liminal dream state, she doesn't see the usual stone objects of the omens, but instead she sees the 6th omen, which is the moth. And the moth shows her visions of Traum's hamlets, the towns, and the statues in the courtyard as living beings, but also of the diviners crying out in agony, twisted into grotesque shapes. When Six wakes, shaken and unable to recount the dream, she finds that Rory is gone and learns that her dream was a waste of time because she couldn't read the signs.
This is, I think, the point where I was in the book. I was confused a lot of it. Making my way through the book, trying to understand things, but
downtown,
making my way downtown, something's fast and going to play Fortnite. Yeah, but it was at this point I was like, okay, I'm in. We're good. Is Tristan laughing at me?
He said, "This is how you get demonetized." Jokes on us. We were never monetized in the first place.
And never will be.
If you want to sponsor us, you can email us at romantasyroundtable@gmail.com.
That's right. Thank you.
we love you.
Okay, this is where you were in. Sorry.
Yep.
That's
What
all.
he said.
Yeah, so this is interesting because we only have like one other dream to compare this dream to, but the first dream was very different. It was like she was in reading one omen, and then she like fell into another world, and she was reading the other omen, and then she fell into another world, and she did that for all the omens. But they like typically don't see the moth. The sixth omen is like not included. And so the fact that she only saw the moth was really significant. And then she also saw all of these things that were not what she had been taught about reading the omens, like the statues being alive and the diviners crying and their bodies being all twisted up.
I will have to say, I appreciated not doing like the typical thing that like anything does, where it's like, here's the traditional divining, and we'll do it 3 times, and now on the 4th, like we got the one, and now we're going.
We got it.
So I really like that.
They do like reference another, like maybe when the king's dad had his omens read or something, and they were all good, or like some were some were bad, but they don't really like get into all the details, which I appreciate. This book is not like it's long, like it's not long.
It's not long at all. It's actually like it's less than 500 pages.
Yeah, it's like 400 pages
for a fantasy novel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a short read. All right. So in chapter 8, 6 discovers that 4 has vanished from the diviner cottage, and later the other diviners also begin to disappear one by one. She goes to the abbess and she's like, WTF? And the abbess is like, it's fine. They just ran away. And she assigns gargoyles to guard the remaining diviners. So a second diviner vanishes. 6. Okay, the ChatGPT notes are not good. So 6 confronts the abbess, and the abbess is like, you're disobedient. They just ran away, and your love and resentment. So 6 has been like the goodest girl. Like she has been the world's best diviner. She has done everything the abbess has asked of her. She like says that she knows she's the abbess's favorite. And at this point, the abbess is like, it was all for nothing because you suck.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And so the abbess doubles down on her imprisonment. So she imprisons 6 and whichever diviners are left. I don't remember how many there are. And they just,
I think there's like 1 or 2 left.
Yeah, they disappear.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them left, I think. Yeah.
Yes, they disappear one at a time. And then when she's finally alone, she's desperate and she attempts to leave, but is caught by Rory, who's returned after hearing of a diviner seeking help at the castle.
And I think before this, one of her, they're obviously all good friends, but I'm just picking a number. It doesn't matter. One of them, they're together in the room alone and they're scared. And she takes off her blindfold and she says, like, what did they do to us? And that's all we're left with there. And then that diviner disappears.
What did you guys think was going on?
Well, and she asks 6 to look at her also. And 6 is like, I'm closing my eyes and turning away, like, I'm not gonna look. So yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting. And I thought at first I was like, are they blinded? But also like they can see. So like, do they not have eyes, period? Or like, obviously their eyes have probably changed in some meaningful way that it sort of doesn't feel human or what they expected it was going to look like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I also say we're just going back to sort of 6's behavior before this too, which, you know, as a Virgo, as an ISFJ, as a absolute like perfectionist people pleaser here, I was like, girl, I am with you. I would have been the best fucking diviner ever. Like gold star, earning 100s on every single one of my divinations, like drown me over and over again. I am here for it. So I felt for our girl.
I hear that.
Yeah, I knew something was going on bad. At this point, I was like, okay, Abbess, not good. Abbess, bad. How? I don't know, but Abbess, bad. Something's fucked up with her face. Don't know what.
Yeah, at this point, I believe I like correctly called many things at this point in the book. So I will leave it at that. In case people have only read half the book, and we'll do the big reveal in our second episode. So in chapter 9, Rory reveals that he's on a mission from the king to help Six escape. He uses a small circular stone object to pass through the locked cottage door and window. And Six recognizes that as the artful brigand's coin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first guy, the guy of the fair, the commerce guy with the coin. She's like, that's crazy. That's the omen. So they fight and destroy several gargoyles. Rory, Six, and our bestie gargoyle escape Aisling, and as they Riesling, sorry, they escape.
Thank you.
And as they flee, Rory reveals that the omens are not gods, but people with magical stone objects, which Rory himself has. Like the coin that she saw was the coin. And he promises to take her to the knights in the next town to find the missing diviners, and the next town is called
Starched. Scatarched. Skeed.
Yeah.
Seagull.
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 We are going to do a reel about the names in this book because.
So we've left Scarborough Fair, and we've left the Riesling Cathedral, and now we're moving on to Seagull, which is the next town. And the next town is who's the guy? The harried scribe.
The scribe, yep.
The stone inkwell. Yeah. So, all right. So Six, Rory, and our gargoyle are traveling by horse to the Seagull. And the scribe at the city's entrance tells Six that no other diviners have passed by recently. Rory gives the scribe a gold coin, revealing that he believes coin is the only god of men, a creed Six recognizes as belonging to that first omen, the artful brigand.
And I
think-
Artful Bridget Jones' diary.
There it is.
Yep. I don't think this is as drastic or abrupt as the time I bagged a demon or whatever the name of that book is. But the fact that Rory is like, I am going to destroy your entire worldview, and also like literally everything that you have been devoted to and literally killing yourself for the last 10 years. And she's like, oh, cool, bet.
I think for me, like, it happens quickly in the book. And I think for me, it doesn't feel like I understand her choice, because she's like, literally, what else is there for me? Like, I know that my sisters are gone. I know that the only woman that I've ever trusted to take care of me is lying about it. And I know that something terrible is going to happen to me
if I don't go.
So I'm not sure she fully even like believes him yet. But she's like, fuck it.
And I don't know if they're going to come up in our notes, so I'll jump ahead if I am. It's like they're going to find the next guy, the Inkwell guy. But our boy Benji Castor III is like, yeah, we're going. They're real people, and they have these weapons, I guess we can call them. And I'm gonna go, and we're gonna kill every single one of them, so I can get all of them.
Yeah. So that's in the next chapter. Yeah.
Okay. So sorry.
Just before that, one last thing is that Rory urges Six to take off her shroud, because she's an undisguised diviner, and that's not safe, and she refuses to. So she pretty actively refuses to take off her shroud for like the whole book. So I think that's important, even though she knows that like this is all nonsense. She still can't let go of that and let go of her sisters. So
but I would also say there's a lot of, and I'm gonna so one of my majors in college was religion. I was a double major, and there is a lot of sort of conversation, particularly in religious communities, about like one of the things that free will can encompass is how you present yourself. And so like that is her version of feeling like herself and feeling like she has control, is by covering herself. So I actually kind of respect that because that's something that pops up very commonly in different communities.
Yeah,
Nice.
agreed. All right, so they're in the Seagull, and Rory and Six and our gargoyle meet Maud, who is also a knight, who is Brienne of Tarth, basically.
100%.
This big, badass,
Great.
knight, loyal lady.
Captain
so,
Phasma herself.
Yeah, if you're reading this book and you're not picturing Gwendolyn Christie in this role,
You're reading the wrong book.
what's wrong with you? Make this movie so she can play that role right now.
Yes.
So
I also
Rory,
pictured it as like an Amran character in some ways too.
yeah, I could see that.
So for the Romantasy readers who are here, yeah, she felt like, I mean, not as old as Amran and not a different species or being completely, but also kind of like the wise older statesman of the crew.
She has that energy for sure. Yeah. All right, so Rory, Maud, and King Benji are taking up the mantle, which means they're challenging all of the omens, all these gods who are not really gods, to get their magical items, basically so that the king can have them all. So they've already gotten the first one. That is the coin that Rory has. We don't know how they've gotten it at this point in the book. But so they're going to challenge the harried scribe, who is the omen of the Seagull, and they're going to get his magical inkwell.
And he's like the omen of knowledge or something.
Yeah. This is where I would just like to say, I love a clearly defined quest with chapters. I love that now I know we're going to beat these things in this order and we're going to get this stuff. I love it. I love the 9 circles of hell. I love it.
It's a video game. It's Mega Man. Like, we have to go get this
boss. You gotta beat the level.
We're going to get this weapon from the boss, and then we're going to go to the next boss and then use that weapon for it.
I love it.
Me too. And I love that they basically said that each of these weapons, I don't know what else to call them, has a double-sided thing. Both like a something destructive and then something sort of I don't know, like traveling or
like one side. So like with the coin, if it's like heads up or whatever, if it's on heads, then like he can pass through walls, and if it's on tails, then it's like it explodes,
blow shit up. Yeah.
And so with the inkwell, it's about which way you spin it. So if you spin it one way, then you're moving, and if you spin it the other way, then you're destroying. So anyway, they're playing trivia with the harried scribe, basically, and he doesn't answer the final question correctly, which is about Six's real name.
You know what's funny? I swear to God, I knew that was going to be it. I knew that was going to be the question. Like, I had it in my cackles. I felt it.
In your what?
I don't know. That's what Dennis Leary says.
In your cackles?
Yeah.
Your cankles.
But I had a feeling this wouldn't be it, so I was really happy that was the question.
So he doesn't.
I thought it was going to be, what was the name of the first diviner? That's what I thought the question was going to be.
Well, it wasn't.
It wasn't, but that was what I was. Yeah, that was.
I don't remember what I thought. All right, so he doesn't. So the scribe is pissed off. So he's using his inkwell as a weapon. He burns the king and Maud with his molten ink before being killed by Rory, who uses the coin to kill him. And at this point, Six realizes Rory's not an omen, but he's the guy who's killing the omens.
Yep. And
he's like, whoa.
Good shit. Good shit.
All right. So in chapter 12, Six is like, I don't know about all this. I got to go. So she and her gargoyle flee. They find shelter in an abandoned forge. And she struggles to process all the information that she's gotten up until now. She's like, my entire life has been a lie. And then they go back into the city where she defends 2 young girls from 3 grown-ass men. And Six and the gargoyle are subsequently arrested by city guards and brought to a knighthood training yard where Rory is waiting. Rory expresses concern for her injuries, and the two have an intense conversation where he reveals that despite his disdain for the omens, he does not have disdain for her.
She does this a lot in this book, and I think I mentioned it. I said it before, where we skip that whole hubbubaloo of multiple things, right? Like the divination 1, divination 2, divination 3. Different one, right? So I really like that Rachel Gillig sort of like covers like her base. Like here's what I mean. When she got captured by these knights, right? I was like, but isn't like the king with them? Can't he just like tell people to find her? And that's exactly what happened. Like the king told the guards, like, yeah, I'm looking for this girl, bring her to me. Like, I'm like, yes, that's what I thought. Like, why doesn't he's the king of everyone, just send out a search party?
He's not a particularly well-respected king.
But he's still the king.
At this point.
At this point, he's not a well-respected king.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
he still
a kid.
has power, right?
Yeah, sure.
So,
I agree with you. But we haven't talked about the fact that he's like a child.
Right. Yeah, he's like 19 or something. Probably.
He's a baby.
The baby.
Yeah. And they portray him as being sort of like particularly young and inexperienced throughout much of the book. So
yeah, and he's still figuring out how to kind of wield his power.
Right.
And I guess the way that you become a king in this universe is like you're a knight and the knights choose the king. And so it's not like he like was the king's son and he was the prince and then he became the king. Although he is the grandson of a previous
king. Yeah.
Which we find out in the next chapter.
And throughout these beginning chapters, he's very inexperienced. He's very unsure about himself. He sort of like leans on Rory for everything. He just
and Maud and really Maud.
Totally.
Yes, he shows not a lot of strength or wisdom up until this point.
Yep.
Very much like a kid.
Yep. Well, and we get into this in subsequent chapters too, but just sort of like the ritual and expectations of being king too, particularly as a new king, as he's meeting all of his various constituents, in some ways doesn't really set him up for success, which I think is really interesting. Like it just continues to sort of infantilize him in a lot of ways and sort of make him not be able to show authority. So I find that that's sort of fascinating, the way that like that comes to be, and that's the expectation. That's like the ritual of the kingdom. I will say one of the things that the summary of this chapter does leave out is that when Six and Gargoyle are captured, quote unquote, and brought back to where Rory and the king are, Rory is in the process of sparring with another one of the knights. And so we do see the initial sparks of attraction as she is like, oh, hey-oh, shirtless and hot damn. So that's missing and important for later.
Yeah.
So in chapter 13, I'm realizing that we read through 14 and we only have notes through 13.
Oh. I think I took them through. All I did was the PDF that I had showed that it ended the satchel at that chapter, unless I did it wrong.
It ends at 14.
Okay.
But I think it's fine. I think these just don't align with it. It's fine. So Six meets with King Benji, who explains the true history of the omens, revealing that they're not gods, but mortals made immortal by drinking from the spring. He tells her that his grandfather, who was a previous king, was stoned to death for trying to expose the omens. And so he is continuing his grandfather's mission by killing them one by one to kind of expose the true history of Traum. He promises to help Six find her missing friends in the other hamlets if she agrees to help him take up the mantle. She agrees. And that's chapter 13. In chapter 14, Rory meets her at the forge to make her a wax cast of her body so that the blacksmith can create a custom suit of armor for her, which is like, it's a little soupy. We're getting a whiff.
Yep. He's like feeling her up, and she's like, "Oh, I like that."
Yeah. So I'm just like flipping through. So we have this like
We're
nice
dicing
little.
vegetables. We're gathering the ingredients. We're dicing the vegetables. We're like,
Yes.
thinking about what recipe we're going to use here.
I'm seeing if I can find in the other thing.
Oh, the other thing.
Yeah, sorry. So they're traveling the hamlets. They're confronting the omens. He like tells her about his life and she tells him about her life while they're doing this. And so I was kind of trying to find what those things were, but so she talks about how she was an orphan and she was found by the abbess and brought to be a diviner. He talks about how he was also an orphan, and that he was raised in Scarborough Fair. Right?
Yes.
Yep. He was Rory, correct?
Yeah, Rory. So, so he lived at Castle Luricht under the Artful Brigand. So under the god, the Omen. So they're both foundlings or orphans in this world. And so he talks about how, even though you're supposed to be like of noble birth to be a knight, that they made an exception for him. And then he's feeling her up.
He sure is.
But he like does tell her
respectfully, because he calls in Moth to do the truly disrespectful parts.
Yeah.
He's like,
he'll get to that later.
Well,
I'll leave your front for someone who is female identifying so you don't feel uncomfortable.
Right. Well, he also tells her, I'm making you a helmet. You need to take off your shroud. And she's like,
no.
Fuck out of here. Yeah.
And then he says something about how he's like going to be down in the dirt. And okay. Yeah. I think you like that I'm a bad knight. I think it's why you feel so righteous, flaying me with your tongue, and why you enjoy throwing me down and grinding your heel into my pride. It does something to you. I bet my oath your whole body is awake right now. So
Rory.
He says that, and he's like, you want to throw me down, and I want to go down with you, and I'm bringing in Moth. Bye. And that's where this section of the book
I'm bringing in Moth. Is this like my Wild Boys book?
And now Moth's joined the party.
Right.
So that's the first half. They've been to the cathedral. They've been to Riesling Cathedral. They've been to Scarborough Fair, and they've been to the Seagull. So they're going to go to the remaining 3 hamlets in the next section.
Yeah, and up until this point, I've loved it so much. Like you said, we have a clear path of what we're doing. We know who's good, we know who's bad, and I'm with it. I am on this journey.
Yep.
I was all in.
Yep, I liked it. I thought it was a distinctive world. And really sort of unique elements to it. And I also like structure. So this felt like an easy read in a lot of ways, because I was like, I get where we're going. I don't necessarily know what the plot twist might be, but I know like where they're going to happen at least. And so I think it's great. Yeah.
Agreed. I'm into it. I really like 6. I think she's a really cool heroine. Man, this gargoyle.
Oh.
The joy of reading about this gargoyle is not represented accurately in these notes or in our podcast.
No.
You gotta read this book, because it's the best part of the book.
And also too, like, we haven't even talked about like him flying around and discovering that he can fly around, and like the amount of joy that he this like giant stone gargoyle who's like trying to hold himself up on his wings. Yeah, that image in my mind is, I love it. It just brings me joy when I think about it. And his banter is ridiculous. Like, he is so unself-aware and yet so sweet and genuine and naive in the best kinds of way. And there's so much of him that's not reflected, as we said. So
Yeah. It'll come up later. It'll come
And
up later.
he's a sensitive soul. He like
He
bursts into
is.
tears sometimes.
right. And he really wants Six to love him.
Yeah, he cares very deeply about her.
I just imagine him crying with like little stones
Yeah,
in
like
his eyes, you know? Yeah.
baby boy.
And so our homework is to finish the book, correct?
Finish the book, 15 to the end.
All right. What else are you reading?
Everything. Actually, no. I finished whatever book I was talking about last week. I don't remember. And I've only been reading Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier since then. It's been a slog. I loved this book. It was my favorite book in high school. It's my first time reading it as an adult. It's dense. And I'm like, this can't possibly be the same brain that read literature. It's not the same brain that read literature. It's a different part of my brain that read Rebecca than the part of my brain that read Chasing the Wild.
What a choice to end out your summer.
I got one more after this.
Okay. Yeah. And so everybody knows, I texted earlier today to our group chat because Goodreads told me that Amanda was reading Rebecca. And I was like, WTF? Like, how is this what you've gone to after all of the truly glorious, but frankly, fluffiness that you have read in the last month? And then to go this, like, dense horror, not contemporary, obviously, like, just such a different direction.
It's for my published before 2005 square.
You got
and
that.
So I was like, I'm going to read a classic. And for me, a classic still has to be written in the 20th century because I don't really want to read anything written before then. That's just my style. So yeah, I have been enjoying it. I got one chapter left, so I'll finish when we get off the call.
Very nice.
You really?
I am 60, close to 70% through Mistborn. So
nice.
Back when we did Book Pong, we had a competition between the three of us that whoever chose the actual book that won Book Pong, which was Phantasma, also got to choose a second read for us. And I won. I was correct in that Phantasma was the book that ended up winning Book Pong. And so I said that we all needed to read Mistborn, and I am the only one so far who is reading Mistborn. I've read it before. This is like easy for me to go back to. I think this is the fourth time I'm reading this book. So it is my end of summer popcorn read right now, and I really love it.
Oh, did you say something, Amanda?
Rick, what are you reading?
Well, as you can see, I posted in that Power Rangers Fortnite emote. And in the group chat earlier, I was like, guys, if they make a group emote, I'm losing my goddamn mind and buying for everybody. And they did. We have a Power Rangers group emote.
Tristan, would you like to see what he's talking about? You're not mic'd, though.
Look at that. Group emote. All I wanted. That's all I wanted. And now we're good.
All I ever wanted.
You got a quiet...
Nice. So I have finished my tandem read of Empire of Storm and Tower of Yawn in Throne of Glass. And it was great. So I can see why it was a tandem read. Because so book 6 is Empire of Storm, I think it's called, right? And that leaves on the cliffhanger of all cliffhangers of anything I've ever seen and or read. And then this woman has the audacity to wait a year and the next book have nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. And and then you have to wait another year for it to finish the series. So the tandem read is really to not leave you on that cliffhanger, and I appreciated that. Amanda,
I got nothing.
go ahead.
Throne of Glass sounds like a real commitment.
It's so good though. It's one of the best things I've ever experienced. I highly recommend it. Better than Lord of the Rings, and I love Lord of the Rings. It really is. But again, the audacity of this woman, because the last book is 1,000 pages, and that cliffhanger literally doesn't get resolved until 25%. So, but it's so good. It's so good.
First off, it's 937 pages. So,
sorry.
Whatever.
But yeah.
But also, Tower of Dawn is great, and we love our girl, Irene.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Man, you really should read this series.
I got
fantastic.
2 more books left in bingo, and then I have to read a book that is in my Libby holds, just like sitting there. And then I have 2 more books to read for my Goodreads challenges. So, and then I have to read Mistborn. And then apparently we're reading something else after that. So Throne of Glass can get in line. I'll read it in 2026.
Oh my God. All right. Well, there we go. I have to go play Fortnite and get all my Power Ranger skins. So thank you all for listening. Bye.
Bye. Stop recording.